Rising crime in America is impacting the nation's college campuses. Now, one of the latest crimes, a brazen shooting of a Temple University police sergeant in Philadelphia. 31-year-old Chris Fitzgerald murdered by an 18-year-old robbery suspect during an arrest attempt near the campus. The Philadelphia Police Department reports 129 people have been shot within a quarter mile of Temple University's main campus since 2020. 14 have died. Gun violence rattling urban colleges in Los Angeles, Seattle, Denver. In December, a security guard was shot and killed at an apartment complex near the University of Southern California. On Sunday, just this past Sunday, 4 students were shot just a few blocks away from the quad at the University of Washington. And the University of Denver now beefing up its police presence following a string of recent shootings in the area. Let's bring in Kirk Burkhalter, professor of law at New York University, and S. Daniel Carter, president of Safety Advisors for Educational Campuses, LLC. Daniel, thank you so much. You're an expert in the field of campus public safety. What do you believe is behind this pattern of violence, particularly around very well-known schools, sometimes prestigious universities in urban environments?
Well, colleges and universities in urban environments have long had campus area crime challenges. This is nothing new. So one of the things that we recommend to institutions is that they have partnerships with local law enforcement. And many times colleges and universities do have their own sworn police departments like Temple. And so they can have very robust partnerships. And we also recommend that they provide alerts for off-campus crimes. And they can get information by having that ongoing relationship with local law enforcement. That's essential.
You know, Kirk, the Temple University officer, he didn't have a partner. The young man who shot and killed him stood over him and shot him several times in the face. I mean, this was just a brutal attack with no regard for life. And it seems as though a lot of campus police departments are actually dealing with the same shortages as city police departments. Is that true?
Yes, that's my understanding. You know, a lot of folks are a little bit leery about going into law enforcement, given the climate and the controversies surrounding law enforcement. Many folks are wondering if this is the choice for them. So you see people, people applying for law enforcement positions around the country. It is quite down. I think what this shows also is that these geographic boundaries between these institutions and the surrounding neighborhoods that are under distress are really artificial. Just because you cross the street and you leave the university doesn't mean that what happens across the street doesn't impact the university. And as my colleague just said, that it also shows a possibility that one needs to have a robust campus police department. This, however, is juxtaposed with the position that these academic institutions are bastions of learning. And, you know, you have to have a balance between how large that police presence needs to be.
Yeah, and Daniel, just speaking about the Temple University situation, because it's so recent, the suspect drove from an hour away from a pretty wealthy rural community to commit these crimes. So is crime changing in cities now? Are we seeing just all rules, all bets are off when it comes to the suspects, when it comes to the kinds of crimes and how violent they are?
Well, the fact that you had a suspect coming from Bucks County, I think, was unusual. Downtown Philadelphia has long had a history of violent crime, unfortunately. I don't know that there's anything, again, I don't think there's anything new about this. There is the unusual element of someone coming down from Bucks County. That's not something I typically have seen. But I think simply it reminds us that we have to be vigilant. And I did note that most officers do patrol on their own. Having partners is optimal, particularly in an environment like this, but that's not always possible. But it does show that we do need to make sure we properly staff and resource campus police departments. They are the first line of defense to protect our students. And that's something that is very important that we do.
Yeah, I just visited my friend's daughter at her college campus, and it was so comforting to know that the college police department was so robust and right there within feet of where she lived. It does give you some comfort. But does the crime, Daniel, does it attribute or does it lend itself to actually bringing down the value of a diploma, of a degree from these colleges? Is it something that I think parents and the community are looking at, not just the real estate coming down in terms of value, but the reputation of attending one of these schools?
In 30 years of studying this issue, it has never been my experience that crime in an urban area has detracted in any way from the value of the academic reputation of an institution. Certainly, it can present challenges, but the academic value certainly is not diminished. These are some of our, the world's greatest universities. They're not diminished by this, and in fact, many of them have very vigorous programs to respond and do their best to address these challenges. So no, I don't think it diminishes their value at all.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm sure comforting for a lot of students who are still considering their dream schools, even if they are right in the middle of the city. Kirk,
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.